Welcome back to Risque Business News. I'm Laura.
I'm May. And what do we got?
We are going to talk about the Mexican cartel.
This is becoming more and more loosely a business-related podcast.
No. Actually, I know, right? No, this one is actually, you say that, but very business-oriented because we're mostly going to focus on, there's a lot you could talk about with the cartel, right? They're busy. They're busy people. But specifically, we're going to focus on a very, very well-known banking institution that had a massive scandal in which they basically helped launder billions and billions of dollars for the cartel.
Good
kind
times.
of knowingly.
Okay.
I'm talking about you, HSBC. So
Good
strap
times.
in. This will be a two-parter because lots to do.
Lots of murders, I think.
Yeah, we'll be going one by one.
One by one through each specific cartel murder. All right. Enjoy.
Where's the money? I don't understand how you make money.
Hold on.
From that, though.
2 stand-up comics in New York City.
Just learned a lot of this stuff. I'm gonna ask all the stupid questions that you might be thinking at home, but are afraid to ask people.
Making it to where you feel like you're too stupid to be able to ever engage in it, they win.
Why the fuck are they doing this?
It's to make money. It's Risque Business News.
Hello.
Well, we were just in Mexico.
Oh, yeah. We are brain dead today. We just had my bachelorette party this weekend, which was the most fun I've ever had my entire fucking life.
It was the best weekend in the world, so you guys can stop trying.
Yeah, I mean, it was ridiculous. It
Like,
really
it's been
was
done.
like
It's been done.
perfect.
It was a great weekend. I had a great fucking time. I have static in my brain now.
Yep.
But yeah, it was worth it.
I have scooped out my brain cells and threw them into the Mexican canals. And like,
Just left them in the streets.
I was actually like thinking about this. I was like, how many drinks do you think that we had over the weekend?
No.
I mean, genuinely 30? Genuinely.
At least.
Like over the course of 3 days, at least 30
At
beverages.
least. And I
Alcoholic
will say,
ones.
I don't know what was going on, but I had the tolerance of a bull.
Me too.
I was like, no, you couldn't take me down. It was fucking weird.
You know what's interesting is that the only night I got really fucked up was the night that we went to that really fancy restaurant, and my sister had to take me home because I was like, I'm too tired. And as soon as I start saying that, it's like game over.
Yeah. The
So-
second tired, and
Yeah,
with the
too
accent, it's like,
tired.
oh, May's gotta go.
I gotta go. So anyway, my sister took me home, and I did throw up.
But honestly, like, it was your bachelorette party. If that's
Yeah.
the worst that happened, fine.
Fine, but I think the reason that happened was because I was drinking wine. Because the other days I was just drinking like clear alcohols.
Yeah, tequilas and mezcals.
And I was completely fine. Same, the tolerance of a bull. I felt fabulous.
I drank a lot the whole weekend and was fine the whole weekend. So wow.
Yeah.
Me judging. Just kidding. I wasn't drinking. I don't know why I was fine. But Pujol was like the best meal of my life.
Yeah, it was
If you're
great.
going to Mexico City specifically, hit us up because we have had some fucking wrecks.
We do.
And they're expensive, but it's like all of it is within reason. I
It's
don't know.
within reason. I mean, especially if you're coming from like New York or somewhere like that, where it's like to have like that type of experience in New York, it would have been $500 each, literally.
Oh, absolutely.
At least.
Absolutely. And it was not that. It was less than that by
It
a
was
lot.
much less than that.
It was.
It wasn't even half of that.
Wasn't even. But we also got to go to Luchadors, which is Mexican wrestling, which was great.
That
I
was
got to
great.
watch May. Like, at first you were like, fucking pick it up.
Yeah.
Because basically how they do it is the first couple rounds are the amateurs or whatever. They fucking suck. Like,
Well,
they were
they're
like
the openers. They're like the open micers.
Yeah.
But I actually think there's probably an open mic
Further
version,
low.
further low.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were still pretty good, but
They
they
were-
weren't that good.
Well, it was so funny because you pointed this out. For the first few, they would like hit each other, but like pretend. Like they wouldn't even fucking make contact. The other
Right.
guy would be like, whoa!
Yeah, and it'd be like so far away.
Yeah.
Like, the other ones were probably also not making contact, but
They were good at
looked
it. They knew
realistic,
how
yeah.
to they knew how to make it look real. And then also there were some of the throws where I was like, no, there's literally no way that guy is not going to a chiropractor tomorrow.
Yeah.
That man is fucked up now.
It was crazy. It was genuinely crazy.
It was wild.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Yeah, that was insane. What's your highlight from the trip?
The canals.
Yeah, the canals for sure.
We went down to the canals. We were fucked up
We were
in a
fucked up.
special way. And it was great. I mean, I think just walking around that market and just kind of like harassing the locals. Not harassing, but like, I don't know. I was just always trying to wheel and deal with people.
Yeah.
Like, tried to buy flower crowns. They like definitely ripped me off.
Oh, for sure. What was I gonna say? When we were leaving, so it's like an hour trip from the center of the city, or at least from where we were staying, out to go get to the canals. So the canals are super cool. They're like, you get on these colorful boats, and then people like come up to your boat and they'll sell you beers or whatever. But then, so it was like an hour trip back to our hotel, and we were like, well, we're not going to sit there sober for an hour.
I'm not going to just sit.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
So we went to go buy beers for people, and these little kids kept putting their fucking juices on the register, and Laura kept being like, no, taking the juices. And then eventually she was just like, we don't know these people.
These like young children, and I'm very like, in retrospect I should have bought them fucking juice, but I was like, get it out.
Yeah, no.
So we don't know them. I might a 12-pack of Corona and like 3 waters. I'm like, get the juice out of here, you fucking, what are you, crazy?
Oh my god, it was so fucking funny. Oh my god.
I don't know them.
We don't know them.
Don't know them.
That interaction may have literally been the highlight of my trip.
Like it was really funny.
Also, when you got wicked fucking pissed at the guy shit over.
Oh my! This man was like trying to. He was trying to get a goddamn propina, which I was like, I get it, but like, get the fuck. So he was leading us to our seats and was being real annoying.
He was
about
just being
it.
so annoying. I hated that guy.
He was in the way the whole time. He was like standing like in our seats.
Yeah,
I was like, sit, and we were like, motherfucker.
And we were like, get out of here.
I was like, scram.
You were so mad. And then like 10 minutes would pass, and you'd be like, I fucking hated that guy.
I couldn't get over it. I was like, did your job. Move.
That guy sucked.
Move it. Oh God.
Anyway, successful bachelorette weekend. I thought it was really fun. It was my sister-in-law's first bachelorette weekend, and I was like, do not get your hopes up. This is not how they always go.
Oh yeah. There usually is crying, and at least
and
one.
Fort Lauderdale's involved. There's a sash.
There's usually a lot of, there's like more people throwing up than one. We had one you
person
threw up, which was like, that has to happen. Otherwise you're not getting married. It's bad luck.
It's bad luck to not throw up on your bachelorette.
It is. It's bad luck.
Yeah. It's actually kind of funny. I feel like Mark's bachelor party had more drama than my bachelorette party, which never happens.
Which is, wow, we're really cool.
I know, we're so cool.
We had some great bits though.
Gotta
say. So yeah. Go follow May's Instagram because she's got a lot of good pics from it, most of which I took, just for the record.
I lost my phone. So
May just threw her phone. This is
get
out of
here.
here.
Thing is that the same night I puked, I left my phone in the Uber, and then the hotel called my sister and was like, hey, we found a phone down here. And then my sister goes, do you not know this? No. My sister goes down there and some guy's like, is this your phone? And she's like, no, it's not our phone. And goes upstairs. And then in the morning, she tells me that story. I go, Susie, that was obviously my phone. She goes, it wasn't your phone. I was like, what are the odds that I lose my phone and someone tries to return it to us?
Oh my God. I did not know this.
Yeah.
Susie.
I know.
Susie was just like, May has an iPhone 11.
Yeah.
It needs an upgrade. Stat.
And I actually do really like my new iPhone, but.
Did you get the new one?
Mm-hmm.
It's a good one.
It's a good one.
It's a good one. Well, good times. I enjoyed myself very much. That's all that's new in our lives right now, right?
Yeah, that's
Anything
it.
Else?
No, that's that. That's
I'm still
it.
fucking recovering.
Me too.
Try to get some goddamn sleep. Let's go into some of the topics of the little news articles that have occurred. Big one. This is from a few hours ago.
Oh my God.
Tom Brady and Giselle, whatever the hell her last name, hired divorce lawyers.
No way.
We've made so many jokes.
Oh my God.
About Giselle in Tampa. No more Giselle in Tampa.
Oh no. I wonder where she'll go now.
Probably back to wherever, literally anywhere else.
Literally anywhere else.
Any major city. She's like, God damn it. Yeah. I mean, who knows if they actually go through with the divorce. This is not great that they've hired the lawyers and we know about it. If the fact that I know about it's a bad sign.
That's true.
It's a bad sign for their relationship.
That would kind of explain his appearance though, because he looks like a fucking skeleton
Yeah, he's stressed.
Yeah.
He's a man, then he's stressed out. He's a family guy. Like, I was actually dying because his Twitter popped up right underneath this article, and his thing is still family and football.
Oh, no.
Tom, you fucking up. So obviously everyone online is like, oh, well, he wanted to go play football and she was sick of it. And I was like,
yeah, maybe. I mean, because didn't he retire like 3 times?
Yeah, he kept saying he was going to retire. And then he was like, but I love Tampa. She's like, no. I think if Paris had a football team, she'd be fine.
Yeah.
No problem. But it doesn't.
Right.
They're all in like Philadelphia.
Right. Boston. He's been many, many years in.
Boston is like one of the highest tier cities, I would say. That like
right.
New
York.
Do we have?
Yeah, we have a Jets.
He could play for the Jets.
He could play for the Jets.
I guess he could play for the Jets. Aren't they like famously bad?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so New York. Yeah. Does LA have a football team?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called, but I'm sure they have one.
All right. So
right? They got to.
Why don't one of them? Yeah, probably.
At least Miami, for fuck's sake.
No, I don't think they do.
They don't? Yes, they do. Miami Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins?
Yeah.
All right. Sports.
Anyway.
Point is, there's a couple other options for Mr. Brady, but he is not interested, and Giselle is fucking out.
Damn.
So it's kind of sad. Either way, we've talked about it so many times that it's kind of funny that this now.
It actually happened.
It actually happened. Did we manifest this?
Oh, God. I don't want that on my hands.
No, I like her. I think they're cool, I guess.
You know she makes more money than him?
Fuck yeah. Good.
Hell
I mean,
yeah.
actually, that makes sense. She's like, I have the whole globe. The whole globe knows who I am.
Right. You have Boston. And
yeah.
some parts of Tampa, they give a shit.
Yeah, exactly. And also, most of the world doesn't care about American football. They literally have better football.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Good
for her. That makes sense. Yeah, why is she going to get stuck in Tampa? The kids. But okay. The next one is, this is a big one, which we should probably do a longer story on at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Edward Snowden got Russian citizenship.
Oh my God. Wow.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's been a long time coming. He's been there just like, hey guys.
Wow.
Look at me.
It's interesting.
You know, you kind of like me, we think.
Yeah.
And yeah, they gave it to him like last week. And the first amount of all the jokes were like, so is he going to get drafted to fight in Ukraine?
Oh my God.
They're like, how desperate is Russia for additional troops?
That's hilarious. What's interesting about that is that wasn't his, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm very like vague on the details, but the high level that I understand is that he kind of like outed the U.S. government for surveillance.
Basically a lot of different things. And don't get me wrong, I don't know all the details either. I do know that he revealed a lot of the tracking that was going on. So yeah, surveillance. Right. And then,
but then it's funny that he's like, fuck that shit. I'll actually become a Russian citizen.
Hey, at least they're open about it.
Yeah, that's true.
He's like, I mean, they're not lying.
He's just looking for honesty.
He's like, if you're gonna fuck with me, be clear about it. Mm-hmm. Putin was like, no problem.
Yeah.
Everything you do, I see. And he's like, all right, well, that's what I asked for.
Me specifically, Putin.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. So now he's over there. He has kids and a family and stuff, and a lot of info on the U.S. That's all open now. He doesn't have any additional info, I think. But I follow him on Twitter.
Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. What's he saying over there?
He's got hot takes.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff on wars and stuff. And I'm like, scram.
Yeah.
Scram. Get out of here.
Wow.
Next, to pivot a little bit, someone had the worst gender reveal party I have ever seen.
Who did it?
So let me pull this up real quick. Little YouTube video.
Oh,
this couple, I'm gonna mute that. So this couple in Brazil decided to go ahead and dye a natural waterfall blue.
Why did they do that?
For their gender reveal party.
Oh my goodness.
They were like,
I mean, it's pretty.
Our baby is a boy.
Nah.
And now an eco-terrorist. Just right out the gate.
What was it dyed with?
I'm
blueberries, something natural.
Yeah, something really masculine, like fucking toilet cleaner. We're like, okay. Apparently, this stream that they decided to do this to was the primary source of water for a town in Mato Grosso, Brazil.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's obviously against the law to do this.
Yeah.
Obviously, they decided to film it and put that bitch online, stat. So at least one of the members of the family is being investigated for the incident.
It's crazy. I mean, gender reveal parties, what is it about them that it's like, it makes me embarrassed to be straight. Yeah. You know? Because I'm like, what is wrong with us?
We lose our fucking minds.
Yeah. Just get a cake and then you cut down the center and the center's fucking blue. Great.
The end. That's at most. Actually, honestly, the whole thing is kind of weird.
The whole thing is kind of weird in general.
Probably skip it.
Yeah. Or like go to the doctor and be like, oh, okay, I'm having... You know
what it should be? A text. Should be a text to your friends.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna name it fucking Sloan because it has
a vagina. That's the text.
Yeah.
Instead, people are like taking machine guns and like shooting pinatas and shit, and I'm like, whoa!
It's
like
crazy.
People turn like so hardcore. The most hardcore thing you've ever done is most people's gender reveal party.
Yeah, yeah.
They're like setting off fireworks, like dying animals.
Yeah.
Why are those doves blue?
Right, getting like their grandma to wear a wig.
Yeah,
like under her wig. That like
you're like, whoa.
Yeah,
grandma.
I just don't understand.
Yeah. So, needless to say, I will be doing. I'm just kidding. How could I even one up that?
God,
like a forest fire, and I'm like, it's red. It's
no,
like a girl.
Been done.
Oh yeah, you're right. See, people literally start fucking forest fires.
That is so embarrassing.
Like, it's a boy.
It's so fucking embarrassing.
Yeah. Oh my god, this couple.
You know what's the weirdest thing? Is when you see these gender reveal parties and it'll come out pink, and then the man is like visibly irritated. I'm like,
yes,
ew.
Yeah.
Dump him. Abort the baby. Yeah. I'm like, that's my solution to men being pigs. Abort that female fetus.
Yeah. Wait a second.
But like, what the hell is wrong with this? So, ugh.
Dude, I don't know.
Be like, dude, you're a fucking adult and you're a piece of shit. Too.
Also, the fact that they take the video, have a very clearly negative situation on their hands, and they're like, post it.
Yeah.
Make sure we tag everybody in the family and share and like and subscribe.
It's even weirder when it's a boy and then they go crazy and then they like jump in like a circle with boys and the mom's sitting there like, okay, like I'm your wife.
Yeah.
Hi,
Yeah.
me?
What? You're not like, you didn't get like a top recruit for your football team.
No.
What are you doing?
Gender reveal parties. Cut it out.
We're done. They're like draft day. They're like, I got my top pick.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So I won't be doing one of those. This couple probably go to jail. So hopefully they have good healthcare in Brazilian jail so they can have the goddamn baby.
Oh my god.
My guess is no. Anyway, the last little story before we get into the main stuff is a fun one after last week's episode.
Okay.
When we remember how we covered Kim Kardashian and her why she has money. Well, she just got charged by the SEC and had to pay a $1.3 million fine.
That's a lot.
It is a lot because of she posted this ad for one of the coins, like a crypto asset.
Yeah.
And in violation of like trade laws.
Oh my god.
So Kim is new to having money, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it's funny because I think that they were trying to really make an example of her. So what happened is, I guess approximately a year or so ago, she had a Instagram post in which she said, hold on 1 second, where'd she say? Oh, in June 13th, 2021, she posted on Instagram, "Are you guys into crypto? This is not financial advice, but sharing what my friends told me about Ethereum Max token!"
Oh my god.
Exclamation point. Then afterwards, she added different hashtags, including #ad, #Emax, and #DisruptHistory.
Oh my god. Okay.
She had 225 million Instagram followers at this point, as the SEC pointed out. So for Kim, she was like, oh, well, I did #ad.
Right.
Rules is rules.
Right.
That is definitely not the case when it comes to financial assets and advice and stuff like that. The laws there are actually real. They're actually pretty strict too. So I think they took her as kind of an influencer example for other people, other celebrities who'd done a lot of the same stuff, which is why they went and charged her such a pretty large amount of money. She got originally paid $250,000 for this plus interest or whatever, and then the actual fine by the SEC was that plus $1 million.
Oh wow,
that she had to pay back. And she's not the first person to pay a fine. 2008, Floyd Mayweather and DJ Khaled each paid fine for pushing crypto. So they paid about like $150,000 to $600,000. And then also Steven Seagal paid more than $300,000 in penalties for doing the same thing in 2020.
Damn. Well, it's like, I feel like that's like $1,000 to Kim K.
I know, that's what everyone said. They were like, okay.
She's
but
like,
it is weird because now like she's trying to get her, like she's doing all the law stuff, and it's just a little embarrassing.
It's really embarrassing to not know that you can't do that.
Yeah. I think so she actually didn't technically admit guilt in this, but she did, like she basically settled to make it go away because she was like, I just don't need additional news articles being written about me tweeting about this crypto coin who definitely crashed.
Right.
All of them, by the way, right now are fucked. I think that whole industry we should probably cover it at some point. I need to actually do a lot of reading to figure out like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah, because I don't know.
Granted, also, I don't know if you've been following inflation.
Yeah.
But it's not like normal money's doing great either.
Right, yeah.
I'm like, maybe we shouldn't be hating on Ethereum when fucking the pound is like underneath the US dollar or whatever. Like it was like something nuts.
Crazy. Inflation, not great.
No, not great. Famously not great. So shall we dig in to a little history of Mexico and the HSBC?
Sure. Is it specific to Mexico or other cartels? Just this one?
This is just there's some the others like kind of get in there, but this is specifically around Mexico and HSBC because they're super tied together.
Cool.
So we focused a little bit there, but in order to get there, we have to do a little bit of background. So first of all, HSBC, if you're not familiar, is one of the biggest banks in the world. They are European, but they have like global. They're all over the place. They actually have a really big Asian side as well. They were founded in around the Opium Wars, so like in the 1830s.
Oh,
so
shit.
Super fucking old.
Yeah.
Like they are really old.
I thought they've always been involved in some sort of drug stuff.
Yes.
Too.
No, you're right. They actually got their roots from being opium traders.
Wow.
Which like, yikes.
Hello?
Whoa. So that was how they initially got a lot of their strength was, I guess 70% of their trade was in opium between like India and like back in history shit that I'm not like fully familiar with, but you get it. So that was all this whole London deal, and they were super, super influential. Now, cut to today, HSBC, a chairman from there once sent an email explaining that the bank would not be attending that year's IMF meeting in Washington, D.C. because it already, quote, has access to finance ministers and leaders of financial institutions around the world without needing the IMF meeting to achieve this. So we decided we would save our shareholders money, end quote. So basically they were like, why would we go? Because like we can just call these guys.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay.
Yeah.
So they're like a big deal. They're very, very influential. They are very important in the world. And also they were run by this guy named Stephen Green, who was in charge from 2003 to late 2010. And Stephen Green is an interesting guy. We're going to talk a lot more about him, probably more in part 2. He was the chief executive, then executive chairman of the bank, and he was extremely religious.
Interesting.
Yes, which is, when I talk to you more about what happens, a little hypocritical.
Okay.
A little hypocritical. We love
you
that.
Mean the religion is hypocritical? What?
He was literally like a preacher, and he would go on Sunday morning and do sermons.
Oh shit.
At church. Like he was religious. Like he was like in the fucking church. Yeah. And he even wrote a book on ethical capitalism.
Okay.
Yeah, where he was basically talking how important it is for businesses to use strong moral codes.
Sure.
When they are conducting business.
Especially a bank.
Especially a bank. Especially a bank that then goes into Mexico and does some stuff.
Yeah.
So, okay. So now we got kind of a little bit of a background on what HSBC is. The super moral leader, a shady past, and one other thing to really keep in mind is they were not as big as like Citibank and JP Morgan. Like, I don't want to go into all the details, but basically those guys were more serious with like investment firms and stuff like that. And HSBC had like a bit of a chip on their shoulder and wanted to grow to get as big as them. So they were like trying to grow. They were very ambitious, and they put a lot of policies in place, like where bonuses were based on growth and stuff like that. So did a lot of things to like kind of grow at almost any cost. Also, keep in mind the time period that this is. This is like the 2000s through, 2010.
Yeah.
As we know, banks had an interesting go of it during that time.
Right.
So switching over, that's HSBC, switching over to Mexico. Mexico at this point in the 90s was actually going through like kind of a little boom. They had just signed the North American Free Trade Agreement, so they were able to do a bunch of business with us.
Yeah, cool.
Canada, whatever. And beyond that, they had a lot of investor confidence. So like, beforehand, people were like, oh, there's a lot of like turmoil in Mexico. It's kind of a tough place just to do business.
Yeah.
And then they were like doing really well at that point. Now, unfortunately, in 1994, some shit went down that really rocked the boat for them.
Okay.
So it's called like broadly the Mexican Peso Crisis. But one of the things that spurred this was this guy, Luis Donaldo Colosio Muerta. Look at that.
Wow.
Did you just hear my accent? Oh my God, am I fluent?
Someone has come back from Mexico City.
Someone just had some cervezas.
Yeah.
And he was the presidential candidate for the PRI, the Institutional Revolutionary Party. Who fucking cares? Back then, I guess they didn't like have elections in Mexico. They had basically the president before would appoint the guy that was next.
That seems bad.
Well, they did change that now in 1999. They started holding elections, so I guess they agreed. They were like, hold on,
that's not great.
Wait a second, whose idea was this?
Yeah.
So he was kind of like being seen as the favorite to be the next president. He was part of the PRI. And then he gave a speech at one of the rallies. There was all these like protests going on in some poor area. And he had noticed that. And I guess this guy was like pretty legit. And he had a quote from his speech. This is really important, where he said, "I see a Mexico that is hungry and with a thirst for justice, a Mexico of mistreated people, women and men afflicted by the abuses of the authorities or by the arrogance of government offices. I declare I want to be the president of Mexico to lead a new state of change in Mexico."
Okay.
So the reason that's important is because the guy he's fucking talking about is president right now and is in charge of putting him in office.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, very cool speech. Like, and especially if you're getting elected, like, I get it. Like, we say shit like that all the time, obviously, in the US. Like, it's kind of like everyone's platform.
Right.
But this was, like, tough.
Okay.
And people were very excited about it because they were like, yeah, wait a second. Yeah, this is bullshit. There's a lot of corruption and stuff like that. So this is the moment when he basically was breaking rank with the president, who was Carlos Salinas de whatever, and signaled that he was going to take the party and the country in a different direction. And he was anticipated to win.
Okay.
19 days after he gave that speech,
oh my God.
he was assassinated.
I knew that was coming.
At a campaign rally in Tijuana.
Whoa.
Yo. So that was bad.
Not great.
They took this one guy.
So do you think it was the Mexican government that did it?
It's hard to tell. So they arrested a guy, Mario Martinez, this guy right here, who's like this like kid. And they said he had mental disorders and all this stuff. They said he was convicted of the murder and sentenced to 42 years in prison. And his family admitted that he had been planning the murder or whatever.
Okay, interesting.
However, millions of Mexicans are actually like, there's like a huge conspiracy theory that's fucking bullshit.
Interesting.
They don't think he was like even potentially involved with the crime. So Laura Sanchez Ley was a journalist who actually opened up this case and wrote a book about it, which I did not read. So if you really fucking care, you can go read that. But this is basically all this is all the juice. So what do you want? You want the juice, or you just want all the other stuff? Like real facts. You want real facts?
No. Then get out of here.
Get out. This is the wrong podcast for you. So Abuerto, she said that he was not the man that basically the government was saying that he was, the guy that they had convicted. She also said she received information showing that the government used shocking tactics to coerce his family into confessing that they knew he planned to kill Colosio. Quote is, "It turns out that during the days after murder, Maria Huerto's family started to be terrorized by the government, so they would confess that they knew he would commit the murder.
Oh my God.
Authorities physically and sexually abused the younger girls in the family. They started to terrorize them at night by shooting at their house."
Holy shit.
Yo. So the other theory is that the cartel was involved in his murder. I don't know. Listen, I've done about 45 minutes of research on this, so I don't actually know.
But is it like the cartel and the government?
Exactly.
Kind of like us and the mob. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
What?
The government and the mob.
Yeah. I mean,
you don't think so?
I don't know. Maybe.
You're a fucking fool if you don't think so. Let me tell you.
Tune in next week when we cover the mob. This is a crime. This is not even a true crime. This is just a crime podcast. Now.
We are now Crime Town. And equally as well produced.
Exactly.
That's
45 minutes of research, folks. So, and that's actually probably, I mean, just with the very bird's eye view that I have of this, sounds like what's going down is that the cartel probably had their hands somewhat, like he was saying that he wanted to fix corruption in the government, and the cartel's like, we fucking love corruption. Are you crazy? Were you nuts?
That's
get out of
we
here.
work.
Scram.
You gotta get out of here.
You gotta get out. So point is, this guy died at a pretty bad time because along with a couple other things, there was like some things that they were doing with the peso, and that turned into a massive devaluation of the peso against the US dollar in December 1994, and became one of the first international financial crises ignited by capital flight. Sure. So this fucked it up. And because of that, all the banks that were like looking to kind of get into Mexico really took a step back, and it was considered super risky.
Yeah.
However, one group was not deterred at all. And it's our boys over at HSBC. I'm not even going to say boys and girls because girls would never.
Also, it was the 90s. There's probably like 7 women that worked there.
Exactly. And they were secretaries. They were getting fucked by their bosses. Okay.
All right. Moving along.
So they decided to get in there. They were like, what a great opportunity. Are you kidding? Is this real? It's amazing. They decided to buy a bank because remember, they were trying to expand internationally, called Batal. And Batal was a Mexican bank that was really struggling to fix their shit, specifically after the Mexican Peso Crisis. They were just like, whoa, we don't know what to do. We're like barely a bank. They had also no anti-money laundering program.
Oh, great.
Just
good.
None. They were like, we didn't think you were serious
Yeah.
about having one of those. Now, if you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, usually banks have like massive departments
right
where they need to make sure that people are not committing massive crimes, like taking all the cash that they got from selling meth and depositing it and then being like, all right, I'm gonna go buy an Audi, you know?
Yeah.
Well, they did not have this. And in 2000,
freaking narcs.
I know. Usually banks are required to be narcs. It's
true.
Literally the law.
Wait, I'm laughing to myself thinking about, so we had a hell of a time taking money out in Mexico for some fucking reason.
I know, we were like over here like, they're fucking laundering money like no problem. And we're like, can I have 50 pesos?
We literally could not take money out of the ATMs. I don't know if we were doing something wrong or like, I don't know what the fuck. But like literally I was standing in line at that ATM for a wicked long time. I looked like such a target. I had my flower crown on and my white outfit from the canals. And we're in like the middle of this like random town out on the outskirts of the city. And
we took May to like a target zone to get abducted.
Yes.
And we were like, get out with your cards. Stand near the ATM so you know you have money.
And then literally like, so the ATM didn't have like an English translation on anything, and I didn't know what was happening. And all I knew that it just said like the thing was like terminated. And I was like, the guy behind me was like, do you want me to help? I was like, no.
Here's my pin, sir.
I was like, this is an ATM. I can't be like, this is exactly my PIN number. Can you help me with the prompts? Can you see how much money I have in this fucking... I like thought about it for a second. I was like, oh yeah, wait, no.
Oh my God. Meanwhile, we're all sitting. May is, by the way, like, Target, you're in all white with a flower crown, and we're like, she's got it. Get out there.
And I had no phone, famously.
Also,
so I was just like, I was just standing in line like for like 45 minutes. It felt like 45 minutes.
You were there for a long time.
I was there for a long time, and I was just standing in line in this hot ATM.
Eventually, we had one guy with us, and eventually I was like, Vince, go fucking help her. It was get in there, man.
He was like, I don't have any money.
He's like, I don't have any money. And I'm like, just stand nearby. Just keep an eye out. He's like this large gay man. Not even large, just tall.
Just tall.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would have been
no.
They wouldn't have been that intimidated by him.
No. Oh my God, that was so funny. I mean, it wasn't that funny for me because I was standing in the ATM line for a wicked long time.
And
Anyway, I couldn't get my money out in fucking Mexico, so I wish there was more
Well, we were on a budget.
Yeah, we were on a budget.
We were on a budget the whole weekend. We had to pay like pesos to use the bathroom, which okay.
Yeah.
Like coins. It was like a coin operated bathroom for the shittiest bathroom I've ever been in my life.
You had to take the toilet paper that you wanted to use in front of everybody outside of the stall.
I'm like collecting. I'm like, whoa. I treated everybody to that. That was fun.
That was such a funny line. You're like, this one's on me, guys.
I walk up, I realize we have to pay, and I look back and go, guys, this one's on me. Yeah, that was a good one.
You're like, thanks, Laura. That was so
ladies,
funny.
gentlemen, remember, mama's got you.
That was so fucking funny. Okay, continue with the story.
Okay, so point is, HSBC decides to buy Batal, and this is a big project for them called High Noon. They have like banks think they're fucking cool.
Yeah, they do. I mean, they have to make it interesting a little bit for the people that work there. Otherwise, it's like, oh.
They're like, okay, listen, you're going to have a shit ton of money, and we're going to pretend you're a spy like a tiny bit.
Yeah.
The project for this was called High Noon, which is funny now because that's a seltzer.
I know, a pretty damn good one.
Pretty damn good one, but like, sure. So they acquired them, and it was this really big deal because they were getting into this new market that they saw as this massive opportunity because there were no other banks there because the Mexican Peso Crisis had just fucked everything up. Mm-hmm. And they took over Batal, and it became HSBC Mexico. Cool.
Right.
So we'll go back to that entire storyline later, but just know that it's 2002. They're brand new. This random bank is struggling massively. They have no anti-money laundering program. They get bought by HSBC, who's just determined to expand at all costs. Cool.
Right. Cool.
So, cut to the cartel. Specifically, a gentleman who we may recall from life.
Okay.
Joaquin Guzman, also known as El Chapo.
I think it's Joaquin.
Joaquin Guzman. I only call him Chapo because I have some fucking respect.
Yeah.
I have some respect on my name.
El Jefe.
El Jefe. So he was called Chapo, which is also, I guess, shorty because he's 5'6". And if you know anything about him, he is the Sinaloa. Is that how you say it?
I have no idea.
We got the translation police over here.
Yeah.
Sinaloa drug cartel, which is a little region in northwest Mexico where opium poppy grows and makes gum. And that gum then makes morphine, and that morphine then makes heroin. Mm-hmm.
Okay, great.
So we got our little boy here. He's 5'6", shorty, Chapo.
Nice little Napoleon syndrome happening.
Yep. He grew up in this area that has a lot of poppy. So this was interesting. Opium. This is actually a fun little callback. Opium poppy was imported by Chinese laborers who were smoking it from India.
Oh.
So that's how it originally got to Mexico.
Oh, really? And damn, what a crazy... Like, imagine if that never happened.
I know. Well, also remember who funded that. Who? HSBC.
Oh, HSBC, yeah.
Isn't that wild?
That is wild.
It's really full circle.
They really changed the history of the planet.
Like literally.
Definitely of Mexico.
Literally. It's kind of weird.
That is weird.
It's like only a couple guys too who like make those calls. Like it's kind of, sometimes it's weird to think about these things. So I don't.
Except on this podcast.
So these, as I mentioned, there's gum, I guess, that originally, I don't know the fucking process. I'm not a drug dealer. So the people who harvested those were called gomeros. They were the ones who grew poppies, and gomeros means gummers. And what's funny is that the baseball team in Sinaloa was actually called the Gomeros.
Oh, that's funny. Wow, they're just like embracing it.
I know, they just leaned in. They're like, eh. That would be like if in California they were like the joints.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
I feel like now they would lean in, but
now
maybe
they
not
would.
Before.
Yeah. In Massachusetts, they're like the alcoholics.
Yeah. The Fighting Irish, kind of. Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. So El Chapo's dad was a Gomero, and he was abusive. I know how I'm like, oh my God, feel bad. El Chapo. Oh.
Yeah. Well, you can feel bad for the little guy.
For little guy El Chapo. But not anymore. So because obviously that he wasn't a huge fan of that, he moved to live with his grandfather in an area where there were literally no job prospects except for to grow drugs. Mm-hmm. So I guess that's also kind of an interesting part about this is like poverty and economics. Like I watched a documentary on drugs, which is part of the reason I wanted to look a little bit more into this. Real fucking sad, believe it or not.
Wow, I wouldn't have
I
seen
don't know
that
if
coming.
you thought about this, but it's weird. Just like the people who work in the drug trade, like you think like, oh, you make all this money and like it's fucking crazy and violent, but a lot of it's just like farmers who don't have options.
Right, exactly. They just don't have anything else to do.
They literally have no other options, and in terms of making money so they can feed their family, it's like the only thing they do, or they're like forced to by the random like cartels and stuff like that.
Right.
It's very, very sad. I think we should maybe consider working on this problem that we have.
All right, Nancy Reagan or whatever.
I'm going to have a war on drugs. It's starting now. So he started working in this industry and was eventually taken. He was really good at it. So he eventually was taken under the wing of Pedro Perez. So he's kind of an interesting guy. He was the first drug lord to use small planes to transport drugs.
Smart guy. Innovative.
Yeah. He invented, like, I feel like that's like every plot line for like so many movies for a while there.
Yeah.
It was like, and then there's a drug plane. Like, wasn't Jurassic Park? They were like, drug plane.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Maybe not. I don't know. Lost, I feel like there was one.
Oh, there was?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No?
I didn't watch Lost.
Oh, you didn't watch Lost?
No.
Don't. Worst ending of a show I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
Oh my God.
But everybody liked it while it was happening.
While it was happening, it was like very much like an embrace the journey situation, but
Yeah.
everyone was like pissed
Yeah.
after the journey ended. We were like, are you fucking kidding?
I've heard.
Oh, don't watch it. It was really good, minus the end, which is like the whole point.
Right,
but anyway,
right.
So he did really, really well in the sense that underneath this guy, he was working very hard. He was super ambitious. Anyone who let him down, he interrogated personally.
Oh my God. Okay.
And then killed.
Great.
Go.
You love to see it.
Love to see it. That is management.
Right.
And the guy above him was like, management potential right
Yep.
there. Look at, he's a good guy. He knows how to fucking do it. He kills himself. He doesn't have an assistant. Go take care
impressive.
of it. It's impressive. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's initiative is what we call it in the business world. So because of this little policy of his, he got noticed by Miguel Gallardo, who was called El Padrino. And he built a this guy had built a partnership with a Honduran drug dealer, Juan Mata Ballesteros.
Great.
The reason this is important is because this guy was the link to cocaine.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So that's like taking their heroin little dealership. Now they're selling a new car.
Exactly. They got a new car.
They got a new car.
They got a partnership with like Toyota.
Yeah. Cocaine had great branding back then too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really did. What?
Right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was very popular. I mean, it like
Yeah.
fueled all of Wall Street. Probably still. I mean, it still
Yeah,
kinda
exactly.
does.
It was like, oh, it was like an aspirational drug to do.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, oh, I'm so cool. I'm doing coke.
Yeah. Coke is like for like rich people.
Right.
I don't know. I wasn't around, nor was I doing coke, or I was a baby, was still not doing coke at that point.
Yeah.
So, as we know, so at this point, he has been doing fairly well working on heroin. He now is working for this new guy who has added in another product line of cocaine. And this is business. It's kind of it's kind of weird. Like when you think about it, like if they had just gone and worked for car dealerships,
they'd be great.
Crushed.
Mm-hmm.
They're crushed. You wouldn't be able to kill to like put your management in place, but you could do other things. So Pablo Escobar, as you might remember, was Colombia's first cartel boss. And one of the ways he worked was by being really political with everything he did there.
He ran for office and I think he won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His whole thing, like, again, he was like literally like a politician kind of almost first. And that's how he got to get away with famously a lot of shit.
Yeah, a lot of shit.
He even went as far as like he would build homes for the poor and was elected to parliament and had all of the poor people's support. Like he really, really petitioned to have them help him hide violence from like the government and stuff like that.
Okay.
They're like, this guy fucking rules. So Chapo noticed that this was kind of a working strategy for him and decided to copy him. And this was like kind of killing me. When there was a flood in his area, he gave tens of thousands of dollars to help the people recover, which is like what the government should be doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Hello? And then one Christmas, he gave the locals 100 ATVs.
What?
Yeah. He was
oh
just
my
like,
God, that's a lot.
party.
Damn.
They were like, we have no gas, but thank you so much.
That is very interesting, though. You can just like buy
Yeah.
their support.
Yeah.
Which I think is what politicians do in other ways, too.
I mean, that's what the government's supposed to do in the sense of like, if it operates correctly and you have what you're needing, you like the government and continue to elect them.
Right.
But he was like, listen, they're not doing anything, so we're going to just do this ourselves.
Good for him.
Yeah. And actually, this is kind of jumping forward in time a little bit, but during COVID-19, he's famously in jail now. Sorry, spoiler alert, if you've been literally under a rock for a long time. But the Mexican cartels are still operating, and during COVID, during COVID, they organized food banks and deliveries of gear labeled El Chapo 701. So these packages, these like aid packages were being sent to all these poor people like 2 years ago.
Wow.
He's in fucking jail. And they're called El Chapo 701 because he was on the like 2009 or something like that on the Forbes rich list.
Yeah.
As 701st richest guy in the world.
Oh, wow.
Right? So he like took on the branding. He was like, hey, I'm El Chapo 701.
Damn, that's great.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Also, I'm dying because I'm like, he is absolutely richer than that. Like, how are you fucking kidding? Like, what is this, like, from his tax returns?
Right. He's fucking El Chapo, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, there's no way that he is actually reporting his income, believe it or not. I think that's, like, literally his whole point is to not do that.
Right.
So even as far as during the last couple of years, his daughter actually went and got branding made for beers that they started selling and a couple other items all under the label of El Chapo. Like he's got like a fucking product line. He's got merch.
And people love that shit.
Oh, I would. I wish I actually had known about this before.
And we could have gotten
some. Find some El Chapo beers. That would have been fun as hell.
I know. Do you think they sell them in the U.S.? Or?
Definitely not.
Yeah. You don't think so?
No. Okay. Maybe not. Well, maybe. I don't know. If you find out, let us know. Yeah. I would definitely buy them. And they were selling them for, get this.
We have to support murderers.
We have to. Guys, give back. You're right. That actually is kind of weird. But they were selling them for 70 pesos and 10 cents or 10 pesos cents, whatever.
Okay.
But the reason being 701.
Again, interesting.
We're all proud.
Also, you know what? It's fucking his daughter. It's not him. I don't care.
I'll drink one.
I'll drink one.
Maybe I won't buy cases. How about that?
Whatever. I'll fucking buy them. I don't care.
Yeah. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Our merch is we're just reselling El Chapo's beer. We're like, okay.
Listen, I don't take morality stances often, but this time I'm definitely going to support this fucking murderer. Okay.
Perfect. All right. Well, that's a perfect pivot to how did he keep all this operation going? So in order to keep fear of him alive and control over the people, he would do these cute little branding campaigns where he would have killers film gruesome murders
of
his like enemies or anyone who was like potentially against him.
Holy
and then
shit.
he would post them.
What? On the internet?
I would assume or some like it would be distributed. So he like was really open. He's really interesting because he was very like, I don't want to use the word kind because that's not right, but like giving,
like generous, but in a way that's going to help him. So I wouldn't even necessarily say it's generous, just like smart and calculated with keeping people like thinking he can help the community.
Yeah,
that's fucked.
Yeah, and then he would also be so basically I think it was there's some sayings like you would lead either get silver or get silver like in sense of a bullet.
Oh,
and they had it was cuter the way they said it, but you get it. But essentially it's like either you can enjoy all the benefits that he's providing to you or you're dead.
Damn.
So it's like, well, that's a fucking easy choice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the Chapo beers.
Hell
Blade packages.
Fuck.
So he was doing pretty well. He was growing a ton. He was working, like continuing to grow his area.
Wait a minute. I need to go back to the murders for 1 second. So the fucking the federales, they knew about these murders and they were just like, all right.
They couldn't get them. It was weird because they like did know. They absolutely knew, but they didn't like necessarily know that it was specifically him.
Oh, okay.
Like it was.
Yeah.
And like a lot of them were bribed and it would be like if they did something, their family would get killed.
Oh my gosh.
Like these guys like
yeah.
They had probably as much power as the government. Don't get me wrong. If you're a fucking cartel nerd and you know more about this, like actually let me know because I'm kind of curious.
Yeah.
But
damn, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Okay.
So federales were not doing very well.
Okay.
they were not with it. And Chapo was basically had free reign to do whatever he was wanting to do, and he continued to grow and work. And eventually, unfortunately, there was special attention brought to them in 1993 when a little situation came about.
Oh no!
So, as one does, you fight internally, and there was another cartel in Tijuana, the Arellano Felix brothers, and they were fighting with El Chapo, fucking idiots, over selling in California. So like about just like a territory dispute or whatever.
Yeah. In Baja California or California?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I would imagine in California, like US, because I think it was over where to sell, and I don't know if they were selling in Baja.
I see.
But it doesn't. The point is territory stuff.
Yeah. And
they were pissed about it. It's a big deal. So they decided to put a hit out on El Chapo.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. So assassins get there. They shoot 14 times into a white car at the Guadalajara airport, which they thought had El Chapo in it to kill him.
And it was just regular people?
No. Instead, it's not funny. They killed Catholic Cardinal Juan Jesus Ocampo, the Archbishop of Guadalajara.
Oh my God.
It's not this. It's just such a Catholic country.
Yes, such a Catholic country that it's like, holy shit.
Holy shit. They shot him 14 times.
Did he die?
Yeah.
Oh.
Poor guy.
He's like, well, how did I get involved with it? I wouldn't be surprised if the fucking church, government, and cartel all like this.
Well, actually, later on, there were some like, he might have been involved. Because we don't know.
I do know that, I listened to this podcast once about the Providence mob, and they would use priests to like do things. Then they would I don't know, the priests were like in on something. I'm like totally butchering this, but basically then when the police would go and interview them, they'd be like, oh, this is like religious law, I can't talk to you about X, Y, and Z or whatever.
We should talk about that.
Yeah.
Is that they make money?
We've done another church.
That's true.
So yeah,
churches do make a lot of money. Well, in this case, the fucking Tijuana cartel viciously and publicly murders this very important Catholic figure in Mexico.
Yeah, it's not great.
Which is really bad.
It's also funny to me, like, I'm assuming at least a few members of the cartel are extremely religious.
Yeah, what the hell?
And it's like, guys, you kill people. You think you're fucking going to heaven?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think, like, I don't know. But
maybe be an atheist.
Yeah,
that's probably best case scenario for you.
How many Hail Marys do you have to do to get to heaven after you slaughtered people and put it on the internet?
They're like, I need a couple more weeks of PTO because I'm really busy.
I'm really busy doing what is it called? Hail Marys. Hail Marys for just indefinitely.
Those fucking rosaries. They're just like, whoa. Yeah, so the reason apparently that at least that was given for him getting hit versus El Chapo was because El Chapo normally drove around in a white car just like this guy, and he knew this was going to happen.
Oh my God.
So he switched cars. I don't know if he knew that the Archbishop would switch into a white car, but he switched into a green car. So he was there in a green Buick instead of the whatever the fucking white car was, and he was able to escape. Oh my
God.
This is the Archbishop. He looks exactly like an old ass man.
He does.
In religion.
Correct.
Understandably, like Mexico, pretty Catholic country, they were pissed.
Yeah.
Whoa, they were so mad. So 2 weeks after this occurred, El Chapo was arrested. So I think the federalists, like we were talking about, like we're kind of turning a blind eye in this case. They were like, yeah, we gotta
rein you in.
We gotta rein you in. You gotta go. There wasn't a clear understanding of exactly what happened at that car park. And what was weird is that they didn't even charge him for that. No one ever got charged with his murder for this guy, but they just simply arrested him for drug trafficking and firearms.
Interesting.
So he was arrested and went to jail with a 22-year sentence, and put in some, I don't even know exactly what the jail was, but some other location. Yeah, isn't that wild?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So they're finally like, you can't kill our religious guys.
Yeah,
you can kill people that are citizens. We don't care about that. That's irrelevant.
Kill a police officer. See if we care.
Yeah, literally irrelevant.
But it wasn't him that did it. It was the other cartel.
Yeah, I think it was more just cartel violence. And he was kind of like
the center of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure they probably would have arrested the other guys too. Maybe they did. I don't know. I stopped following that storyline.
Okay.
So he is now in jail, and he was like, sure, I'm in jail for 22 years, but it's not like I'm going to stop grinding.
Yeah.
And he literally just continued to run the cartel from jail. Like literally, exactly.
And the police officers were like, great.
Cool. They paid him off. They were being paid off.
Yeah.
So he would have people come in with like bags of money, pay everybody in the jail off, and like fucking lived it up, kind of. Like he had cooks. His wives came and stayed with him. Like basically,
wives plural.
Yes, yeah. So Catholic.
Yeah, right.
So he basically like had like the best time ever. And officially, his brother Arturo Guzman, who was also known as El Pollo, which is funny, just chicken.
Okay.
He was technically the one in charge, but Chapo just kind of sent him all the instructions of what to do.
Yeah.
And it really did not impact him at all because it's not like he was like actually doing groundwork.
Right.
Like all he was doing in real was managing things and like making calls and what to do. So they just brought him the information and that was it.
Great.
Yeah, and he was living it up. While he was in jail, he actually was able to expand his business to selling meth.
Oh my God.
This guy's fucking, he's a legend.
He's got a lot of product lines.
He's expanding his partnerships.
I feel like if I were to do drug dealing, I would want to do meth because you can create the own product. You can, it doesn't have to be from like a natural source. Like you don't have to deal with, it doesn't have to change hands. It's not such much of like a,
you don't have to worry about suppliers.
Line. Yeah, supply chain.
You
like
have
with
your own
meth,
lab.
it's like, all right, just like pop up a few labs and let's get it going. You know what I mean?
So wait, if you were to deal drugs, not
if I was to deal drugs,
I thought you said do drugs
it would
initially.
be
I was
shrooms.
Yes, that's true.
I would just have a shroom farm.
I agree. I saw Breaking Bad. It didn't look that hard.
No, it seemed great.
It didn't look that hard. I don't know what to tell you. Jesse
Also,
Pinkman, kind of an idiot.
It's also really funny how that whole show was like,
A how-to guide.
yeah. Well, first of all, a how-to guide, but secondly, it was like, oh, he makes like this really good meth and like blah blah blah. But I was like, okay, but like meth heads make meth. Like it can't be that hard.
Yes, I know. And the whole point, they were like,
difficult.
"This is good meth, though," and I'm like, "Yeah, but meth heads don't generally give a shit
No, I don't think they really
because they're meth heads."
Right. I would
their
never
thing.
do meth.
No, absolutely not. Though I have to say, a lot of Molly, pretty sure it's cut with meth.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and say there's a lot of us who've already done it.
Yeah, it's true. Mostly for like aesthetic reasons, though.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
You know.
I actually don't even know what meth does. I'm all set.
Yeah, I'm
It's
all
just-
set. It doesn't look fun.
Isn't it weird how you were talking about the branding of drugs?
Yeah.
Meth, not great branding.
Terrible branding.
Terrible branding. They were like, everyone looks ugly and has no teeth.
There's no classy meth heads
No.
at all. That's why
Honestly-
it must be awesome because it's not glamorous.
No one like does it intentionally. The only drugs that like have good reputation, this is the weirdest fucking shit to talk, but it's true. I feel like it's like Coke and Molly.
Coke,
And
Molly, shrooms have pretty good reputation.
Shrooms, but it's like a little bit, I wouldn't even call it like it's not like a party. I guess it's
it's
kind
not
of
like
a party drug.
it's not a narcotic.
Yeah.
It's just like
It's, like,
hey,
different.
let's have fun,
Yeah, and I guess weed is more just like weed is like a beer where I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, like
Right.
there's no rep anymore. It's just kind of it's
Yeah.
out there.
Heroin did have a good rep for a little while when like Kate Moss was doing it and stuff.
How did
but
Kate Moss? Does she look like shit now?
she actually doesn't really look like shit. She looks pretty good.
Wow.
I know. I think people can bounce back. But she did look like fucking shit for a long time.
Yeah.
Don't do drugs.
Don't
Just skip it. They're really not that great.
And definitely don't do meth or coke. Actually, also reading about all of that. Actually, all of them. Reading about this, like more than any. If you're a vegetarian and you do drugs, go fucking kill yourself. How about that?
Why?
Because the amount of people that die
Oh yeah.
in this distribution
that's a good point.
is actually like it's kind of
That's
not
a
to
really
be
good
serious,
point.
but
Yeah.
like, are you fucking kidding?
No, you're right. That's interesting. I like that point.
How can you say that you have all of these like, I don't know, human rights like issues? Like you cannot
Yeah.
support this. You cannot.
No, that's true.
I'm having a real hot takes today. I'm like, guys,
Murder,
bad.
not good. Drugs, stay away from them. Listen,
I'm going full Reagan. Who saw this coming? None of us.
Laura's like, Mexicans, be afraid. I'm totally joking.
No, I love Mexico City. I want to move there.
Me too. It was so great. It was awesome.
Minus my hair, hated it.
My hair liked it. I got back to New York and my hair was like, not this again.
No, my hair got so much better the second I moved here. It's like the water content or some bullshit. Yeah,
okay.
It doesn't matter. Okay. So, anyway, this part gets pretty funny. So then after he's living in jail, like kind of having a great fucking time. People were, he was giving them suitcases of money to bribe all the people. They were like, no problem. This is great.
Yeah.
And then he expanded to selling meth. And then the U.S. Worked with Mexican government or whatever. And they had gotten this thing passed where they were going to get approval to extradite him to the U.S. because he was obviously wanted by the United States government as well.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, thank you. I do not want to go to the U.S. government and the jails there are real.
Yep.
We can't just pay everyone off. Allegedly, you probably can, but
Definitely.
you probably can, but it's going to take a little bit more than $2.5 million. I'll tell you that. And he just left. He just left jail.
Okay.
In January 2001, he just bounced. He was like, oh, I don't actually want to get extradited, so I'm going to go. So he escaped.
Holy shit.
Isn't that wild?
Do we know
the whole
the
time he
details
could have
around-
left.
Yeah.
And he just didn't.
Oh, that's so crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
It cost him apparently in total $2.5 million, which is nothing for him,
Right.
in bribes. And he just bounced like a fucking legend. People were like writing songs about him. People were like,
Wow.
whoa, this guy is incredible.
That is pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. Afterwards, like it was so embarrassing for the jail. They were like, this is so bad for us.
It's really not great.
So there was a huge manhunt that went down and they could not find him, even though he was literally doing nothing to hide.
What?
He was going to restaurants. Apparently he like I don't even know, like he's a fucking legend. I don't know how he did it.
Yeah.
He would go to restaurants and he would have his guys go in before him, take everybody's phones. Then he would come in, they'd eat, party, do their thing, drink. And then they'd pay everyone's bill, the entire restaurant's bill.
Oh, shit.
And they'd give them their phones back and they'd leave.
Wow.
So by the time anyone knew that they had been there, they were gone.
Damn.
And they just paid for everyone's bill. And they were like,
This is badass.
that was a weird meal.
Yeah.
Kind of sick. I mean, like get a couple extra glasses of wine.
That would
Chapo's
be
on.
cool. Yeah.
Kind of cool.
Although I don't know if I would be like too nervous.
I'd be so scared.
I'd be so scared.
But also I would be ordering something expensive.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, because El Chapo's paying. And then another situation that happened during this time is he apparently like fell in love with this random beauty queen named Emma Aspuro. So she was just like hot influencer type, whatever.
Yeah.
And he was of course married. Don't worry. Of course he was married. But he was still like, she's great. So he decided to throw a big ass party for her.
Oh my God.
Flew her in, flew one of the most popular music groups in Mexico in.
Oh my God.
He's wanted. Like there's an active manhunt going on.
So ridiculous.
And he threw this massive party and then he got married to her. And
what about did he have to get divorced from his wife or does
I don't know if he fucking cared. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I didn't really follow the romantic like I should have. Maybe I'll do like a little like quick synopsis on that and then part 2 because it's always fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
Who's fucking? You know, we always want to know who's
Who's fucking?
Hey, you fucking? That's what I always want to know.
Yeah.
Shows want to know about Chapo. So literally there is a manhunt going on. He's just throwing parties for beauty queens, buying everyone dinner. And he like could not have been less bothered.
That is so great. I love him.
He's nuts. I know, it's so weird because I'm just like, what? What a boss.
What a boss.
You are really good at being a horrifying person. But like, damn.
Yeah.
It's very strange. So he's doing great. He's doing great. Business is wonderful. He's got married. He's got restaurants. He has a shit ton of money. But he had one problem, which is the whole point of this whole thing. He did not know, or he had no way to get money laundered.
Oh,
this is an extremely important part of dealing drugs, obviously, as we all know.
Right.
Well, we've seen Breaking Bad. So what they had been doing up to this point was they had a network of people doing small deposits. Anything under $10,000 is usually not going to be checked by the systems. Yeah. But unfortunately, this is like really hard to accomplish when you're dealing with billions of dollars. Divided by 10,000 is an insane amount of transactions, and people would like take off with it all the time. It was a big pain in the ass. But in 2003, Remember what we started with up top?
Yes.
HSBC Mexico, formerly Batal, the company the bank that had literally no money laundering division. They were like, we don't know.
That's so funny.
It's so funny. And they actually now have the branding of HSBC, which is a super legit bank behind them. They are up and running and ready to grow, and they're growing like crazy. And El Chapo was like, let's give this a shot. He sends in his guys to make a deposit, and no one said a thing. And he was like, what?
Yeah.
Really? And there were no issues at all. So he started doing more and more of it, and he was depositing massive amounts of money to these various bank branches. Their biggest deposit that they made was $933,000.
Oh my God, that's so much.
That's so much money. Not a single flag by HSBC to be like, where the fuck did this cash come from?
Yeah.
Literally really illegal, you guys. Like, that is so bad that they did
very
this.
bad.
They went nuts. They like really, really leaned into this. They were depositing so much money at HSBC. They actually, like, I guess they had these teller windows that had these slots that you could like do quick deposits with.
Yeah.
With insert envelopes or whatever. And they were doing so many of these that they literally had, versus bringing in duffel bags of cash, they had these like briefcases that would fit under the teller windows and were attached to their wrists.
Oh.
So like they were like designing it. Like it was like kind of like a business, like to be able to go in and as fast as possible be depositing money into the banks as quickly as they could.
Oh shit.
And this was happening at such a big rate that they eventually convinced HSBC to make wider window slots so that they could deposit more money.
Oh my God.
And I can't stress how you can't just do that. We can't go to be like Bank of America and be like, hey, can you make bigger slots? Because I have a lot of money, but don't ask who I am.
Don't ask who I am, who I represent, where this money came from.
No. But HSBC, they did it. They changed all the banks so that they would be able to put bigger amounts of money in.
Wow.
Which is like, kind of makes us think, and I haven't gotten fully into this. They fucking knew.
Yeah, for sure.
They fucking knew. And there was actually a lot of the individual staff. Like, what's weird about that is like people higher up need to sign off on stuff for those banks to like change their physical infrastructure.
Yeah, no kidding.
But apparently a lot of the staff definitely knew that this was going on, and they were being bribed, or they would come in and they would flash pictures of the family of the tellers.
Oh my God.
And they were like, yeah, no problem, Mr. Smith.
Jesus Christ.
Whatever the fuck, Mr. Lopez. Yeah, whatever you want.
Wow.
It's deposited. Who are you? We never know who you are. Here's your bank number. Like,
damn.
See you later.
That's scary.
Yeah, it's scary. So they basically took that same procedure, which is like, and listen, I get it. Like, I understand for the individuals, but like HSBC, like, you're a bank.
Yeah.
You're supposed to have procedures in place.
Right.
What?
Like, you can't do that in America.
No.
And like, so what are we doing here?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So they were receiving billions and billions of dollars this way. HSBC's upper management became aware, but at the same time, HSBC Mexico was doing really well. Remember?
Yeah, no fucking shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like fucking crazy. Apparently, they had made a profit of over $1 billion in Mexico at HSBC Mexico. So this was the fourth best performing region for HSBC.
Oh, shit.
Like, Mexico's not that big. Like, I mean, I love it. It's great. Don't get me wrong. But like, they had like fucking Tokyo and like
yeah,
London and New York. And then they were like, and then coming in at number 4 is Mexico City, a great place. But goddamn.
Yeah.
So they were like, why are we going to go and double down on checking on this? Because they're crushing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Yeah. And they wanted to grow as big as possible. So they were like, this is just going to make us look bad. And actually,
they were right.
Right. This actually, the funniest part about all this is during this period from 2002 to 2009, which is like the period of like the most issues with the cartels and this laundering and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They actually went as far as to give Mexico the lowest risk level.
Oh my God.
That they had, despite the people were openly murdered.
Wow.
Like Chapo was just running the fuck around.
Yeah.
And they were like, we don't see any possible issues, actually.
Nope, no issues.
Seems fine. Seems cool.
Yeah.
So I'm going to finish off with this. This is obviously a long story, and there's more to it because people got to pay.
Yeah.
Right? With the Cayman Islands. So one of the things with Mexican banks is you have to carry all your accounts in pesos. And the reason that kind of sucks is because, at least then, I don't know how the peso is doing now, but the peso was really volatile.
Yeah.
And so they were like, I'm trying to make investments. Like, I'm trying to grow my wealth. I'm trying to, financial freedom, side hustle. So these cartels wanted their money in dollars, which was considered more stable or whatever. I'm like, they could also be in like euros. No, they wanted US dollars.
Okay.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
So luckily, Batal, or HSBC Mexico now, had a branch in the Cayman Islands.
Great.
Whoa. We've got to really cover the Cayman Islands in more detail at some point, because I did a little bit of reading on them. Shit's weird down there.
Yeah.
There's
some
some
offshore banks.
Yes. There's some nonsense going on. The Cayman Islands is the 4th largest financial market in the world.
Why?
Yeah, because it is. Because of all the industry that's going on there, as you know, all the stuff that's made there, just the offices, and there's like fucking 40 people that live on the Cayman Islands. But it is actually home to tens of thousands of companies.
Oh,
literally, like, I knew that this was a problem, but the more I read about it, I was like, holy shit. Like, we really need to go take a look at this. So Georgetown is, I guess, the capital of this tiny island chain in the Cayman Islands. And most of these companies don't have a single physical location. I would say like 99.9999% of them. Because of the laws, people could open accounts there and not pay any income tax or corporate tax.
Oh, wow.
So it's a very big reason for, I guess, like 2/3 of the world's hedge fund have their HQs in Cayman Islands.
Oh, interesting.
They're like, why would we not?
Right.
It's very...
And then they just have like satellite offices in New York, and that's where everything gets done.
I think so.
Interesting.
So, and this was a fun aside. Apparently, when the various hurricanes come through there, they actually have a bunch of planes that fly off with the hard drives from all these businesses. And then after the hurricane passes, they bring them all back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's literally just the files and computers are based there.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that nuts?
That's crazy.
So this is obviously an insane way to avoid taxes and financial oversight, which is a big part. The cartel was down for both of those things.
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
Great.
Hell yeah. Obama actually had called out the Cayman Islands specifically in one of his campaign initiatives. There's this place called Ugland House, which is this very big office building that you can see here. And it was the registered office address for quite literally 40,000 entities.
God.
We're looking, this building is like the size of like, I don't know, a small insurance company.
Yeah,
like
it's not big.
Yeah, it's not big at all. Like 3 floors. Like it's a little place. 40,000 groups were based there. Like major investment funds, international joint ventures, and capital market issuers. I don't even know what those things are.
Yeah.
Well, I just know they're important. Obama's quote was, "You've got a building in the Cayman Islands that supposedly houses 12,000 corporations." He said during January 5th, 2008 at a debate in Manchester, New Hampshire. That's either the biggest building I've ever seen or the biggest tax scam on record.
Oh, shit.
He's totally right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and said that. And also, quick note, I was at that debate.
You were?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I actually went through a period that I still kind of am in. I would love to do this more. I was really into presidential campaigns.
Okay.
I just had like this quirky little period. But I was on vacation in New Hampshire and he was coming through. And so I drove over like a couple hours and just like went.
Okay.
I like wasn't necessarily like into Obama, but I was like, I mean, this guy's important.
Yeah.
I want to go see what the hell's going on. It was fun.
That's interesting.
It's kind of fun. It's kind of like a little party.
I've never been to a presidential debate.
It was fun. We also went to a Bernie Sanders rally.
Oh, wow.
It was great. I would totally go to a Trump one too.
Purely,
I mean, I would just, you got to go see that shit.
It
You
would
know what I
be
mean?
fun. I mean, talk about production value.
Oh,
great.
Come on. That's the whole thing is I was like, all of these people, I don't necessarily support any of them.
Yeah.
Definitely not Trump. Definitely not all of them. I'm like, eh. But I was like, I want to see what you're up to because you're clearly working. It's clearly working for you. So like, why would I not go check it out?
People dig this.
People are into it.
Why?
It was interesting. The Bernie one was so funny.
Yeah.
Just like, it was just college kids. I was
Yeah,
like, none of these fuckers are going to go and vote.
And
you idiot.
They don't know anything about the world.
They don't know anything.
All your like hypotheticals sound great.
I was like, Bernie, none of these guys are registered. Are you dumb? You dumb? They're not going to show up. They're going to be too hungover. And I was right. Anyway, I want to go to more debates. That was fun.
Yeah.
So HSBC was able to open accounts in the Cayman Islands, and any of their people were able to do the same thing. And the Sinaloa group loved this because in Mexico, you need to have everything in pesos, right? So they were like, wow, literally you don't need to have any paperwork. You can open an account there and it's in US dollars. This is incredible. Great. 15% of the accounts opened in Cayman Islands for HSBC had no paperwork associated with them.
Cool.
A very big thing for banks is you're supposed to always know your customer. They literally had no paperwork. And more than 50% of cases, nobody from HSBC had ever met the account holder. You're also supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Like they didn't even know if they were foreigners or Mexican nationals. 7,500 accounts had no files.
Oh my God.
1/15 of the $30 trillion that exist in banking assets exist in the Cayman Islands.
Oh my God.
Isn't that nuts?
That's it. That is nuts.
A lot of money. So in conclusion, we're going to leave this right now because it's already being a little bit long. But as you can tell, there's more to the story because so far all we have is HSBC is literally washing billions and billions and billions of dollars for the Mexican cartels. And they know. And they're just doing it.
Fabulous.
They're like a real ass bank and they were just like, eh. Meanwhile, El Chapo's just like shooting people up and like holding parties, paying for people at restaurants and just hanging out at jail and then leaving.
And everyone's like, great, sounds good.
Cool.
Perfect. Damn, that's wild.
Yep. So part 2, we're going to go into a lot more stuff, including like the 2008 financial crisis, the government deciding to do things. The Vegas casinos get involved for a while.
Oh.
There's the largest cash seizure ever that happens. It's great.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah. So I hope you guys liked it. I know that this is like a pretty dense topic. So we'll try to keep it light next time as much as physically as possible with a story like this. And let us know if you like this kind of stuff because I think this is interesting.
This is really interesting. I think you did a great job, actually. I didn't think it was super dense.
It's hard. It's hard to like get this all layered out. So,
yeah.
Any tips? Let us know. I don't know. I'm open for
politics, drugs, murder.
What do you want?
Banks,
religious people?
Yeah, religious people. What more do you want?
What do you want?
Tell us what you want.
Right. Like and subscribe, tell 3 friends, and we'll do part 2 probably next week.
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.